Alright, thanks for hanging in there with me. I have quite literally never seen a traffic jam here before. Every time I've skied at the ski area, I've parked up top. I had no idea I knew they had parking down here. I had no idea they had this much parking down here. Anyway, we're going to continue on. We're going to go through one of our favorite little covered bridges in a minute, and then we're going to continue on to Palmerton. As I said before, none of these roads I'm taking today are going to be new to you if you've seen any of my new videos, but I do think it's a pretty view with the snow, even though we didn't get as much snow. They had predicted up here somewhere in the neighborhood of 4 inches. This is kind of the dividing line. South of Blue Mountain, it was predicted to have 2 to 4 inches. North of Blue Mountain was 4 to 8. Where I live down in Northampton, we got, I want to say 2, but it may have actually been a little more. We had some sleet and freezing rain at the end, which got it compacted down to about 2. When I shoveled it this morning, it was just very heavy and wet. I couldn't run the snowblower. It was, the kind that would have clogged that up. But, it looks like they got about the same here, maybe 2-3 inches here. And with the sun coming out, this stuff will melt fast. So, hence, a little bit of urgency and enthusiasm on my part with getting the video done. Hopefully, here I'm going to pause. I do enjoy covered bridges. There will be more videos of them coming from me. There's a lot more in the area. You've only seen, I think that may be the only one I've shown you so far, even though I do have some editing to do. I know I caught one other. Alright, so we are going to continue on to Palmerton. That road ahead, had I gone straight there, that was one of my summer drive videos. We came out from that direction. That was the first time I'd ever driven that road. This road I've driven many times, and for some reason I'm not conjuring up the name of it. I'll post it below when I edit. The problem is, when I find my way around, I tend to navigate just by sight and landmarks. And when I've driven a road so many times, I tend to forget its name because there's no reason to remember it. I'm just going by sight. So as getting back to upcoming videos, I do have some other stuff filmed. I do have a couple more scenic drives from the summer. On one of my days off in September, I had gone to Cabela's in Hamburg, but I took the back roads, not the highway. I've got a couple scenic videos I've got to put together for that drive. And then I took a little side trip to have lunch at a place called Heisler's Dairy Farm. Really neat little out-of-the-way place you'd never find if you didn't know it was there, but it's an absolutely beautiful drive, and that's really the whole point of going there, really, is just to see the scenery. So what you're seeing now off to the left, that is the north face of Blue Mountain. The ski area is now behind us. You can see the sign for the turnoff there. That's just another road that goes back to the same place we just were, and we are heading towards Palmerton. I'm going to take us through Palmerton and out to 248, and then we'll go back through Lehigh Gap, and if I manage to time things well, I'll just end it at the intersection of 248 and Blue Mountain Drive. That'll make, a full loop. So the roads are pretty clear here. It is pretty chilly today. I know it looks warm and cozy. I looked up the temperature on the app before I left home. It said 35 degrees with 12-mile-per-hour winds, which gave us a real field temperature of 26. And I can tell you from being outside shoveling, it was pretty bitingly cold. My truck is saying 37 now, but it's actually, I just turned the heat off inside because with the sun beating on the cab, it's pretty warm and cozy. I'm liking it, so... And I think these roads are clear enough. I'm actually turning off four-wheel drive. I didn't really know what I'd find up on this side of the mountain. Anyway, again, back to my channel. So what do we have coming up? We got some aircraft videos. I got a couple more train videos, mostly digging into the archives on the train stuff. I have a tour of the Copley Kilns that I filmed back when I went to look at the bridge. I just need to edit that video. And then hopefully this year, I'm going to keep this channel. I think this variety format's working. People seem to enjoy it. I know not every video is going to appeal to every person. You can tell I like a lot of different things, particularly in the areas of traveling, trains, planes, automobiles, any kind of vehicle that moves, any place I can go. I like to be on the move. So we're just going to keep doing more of the same. Something else I want to add in this year, I really want to get back to bike riding. It's something I've kind of neglected in the past couple of years, and my fitness has declined, and I don't feel as good, I don't feel as energetic. I really want to try to get back out on the trails this year, and that'll be a good excuse. I want to start videoing some of the trails. I had an idea many years ago when I bought my GoPro that I wanted to film the entire length of the D&L Trail. And I think I'm going to resurrect that goal now. I'm not going to be able to achieve that entire goal this year, and I'll tell you why. They're not done building the trail. There's nothing I can do about that. But they did just complete a major section up in Jim Thorpe. It's going to be a 165-mile trail end-to-end when it's done. Goes from Whitehaven, Pennsylvania to somewhere, I think, in or near Washington's Crossing, New Jersey, which is near Trenton. There's still some significant gaps missing, the main one being from near me in Northampton Cement and down to Allentown. That's still a couple mile gap that's missing, along with some other smaller gaps. It's 165 miles. I'm never going to be able to ride it in one go. So it's just going to be a multi-year project, to be honest. I'll write it in small segments, I'll film it, I'll publish it as I do it, and someday, maybe in 3, 4, 5, 6 years, we'll have a playlist. You can watch the whole thing end to end, if you really want to. I don't know, I'm doing it more for me, but hopefully somebody out there is going to enjoy it. The other thing is I do want to do some traveling this year. I love to travel, with my job and everything going on. I haven't gotten to do a lot of traveling in recent years like I'd like to. I think what I'm aiming for this year is I'm going to do some long weekend trips. And the reason I'm planning that instead of one bigger vacation, and I'll get to my career ambitions in a moment, but a lot of you know I'm looking for a new job. And what happens when you get a new job? You got to accrue vacation time. So if I'm still at my current job, I've got 4 weeks to blow. I can do whatever I want. But if I'm not at that job, whether it be my choosing or theirs, I don't know how much vacation time, if any, I'm going to have. So I'm going to just do some weekend stuff. And that's fine anyway, because you can kind of tell I've really gotten back into the train stuff. Since that day I spent up in Jim Thorpe. I've always enjoyed trains. The interest is kind of coming to the forefront again. And there's Pennsylvania, you could spend a year touring all the train stuff and not get bored. But there's some big ones that I really want to hit. I really want to go to Horseshoe Curve. That's out in sort of central PA, I guess you'd say. Altoona, Pennsylvania is kind of out all by itself. It's a couple hours to get to it. Horseshoe Curve itself, if you look at it on the map, it's shaped like a horseshoe, hence the name. It was designed that way. It sort of circles around and up because there was a large elevation change, and trains cannot go uphill the way cars can. So the track kind of swings around in a big arc to traverse the elevation change, basically. Anyway, it's a hot spot. People love to go out there, watch freight trains. There's a really good viewing area. I was out there as a child. I only have very, very vague memories of it. I've seen more of it in recent years on webcams than I've ever seen with my own eyes. And there's also a railroad museum out there, and there's some other good train viewing opportunities. And if I can time it right, and this is, again, going to depend on the job situation, and this is a little bit of a diversion. This goes into the RV world. A-Liner has a factory out in Kecksburg. And I only found that out inadvertently. Kecksburg is considered Pennsylvania's Roswell, with a reported, supposed UFO crash many years ago. Certainly it's not as hot of a topic as Roswell, New Mexico, but I just thought, hey, if I'm out that way, I want to go see. They put up some replica of the supposed UFO. It would be neat. I'm not going to drive all the way out to Kecksburg just to take a picture of it, but if I'm ever out that way, it'd be worth stopping by. Well, I happened to look on the map for it one day, and the A-liner trailers, or the A-liner trailer factory is a block away. So now I have a good reason to go to Kecksburg. A-liner's probably not what I'd end up buying, even though I have a friend who owns one, and she really swears by him and says, hey, that's what you should get. But, me, I also like factory tours. If I can combine that with a trip out to Altoona, I will, but getting to Altoona for Horseshoe Curve is the priority right now. So that'll be one trip. Hopefully we'll get some good train video out of that. I also want to get back up to Steamtown, which is up in Scranton, Pennsylvania. That's actually a national park, believe it or not, even though it's all railroad stuff. They have a lot of steam engines up there, some of them running. They have a repair and restoration shop. And I've held off going there. I kind of wanted to go over the winter break, but one of the main things I wanted to see is the Union Pacific Big Boy number 4012, which you can normally see from the parking lot. That has been taken inside for a much needed cosmetic restoration. So it's not on display to the public right now. So I thought, well, I could go up there. I could enjoy the museum. I could go to the trolley museum and all that stuff, but I'm not going to be able to see the Union Pacific Big Boy. So I'm going to wait till that's restored, and we'll take a trip up there. It's not going to be restored to running conditions. It's just a cosmetic restoration, but I'm really looking forward to seeing that done. That could end up being a day trip for me, but there's some other stuff I'd like to do up there. I could stretch that to a long weekend. We'll see what happens. The other thing I want to do that'll definitely be a multi-day is to go back out to Strasburg, Pennsylvania. You can tell I've been digging through my video archives, and I recently put together a video of a short trip I had there. And we're getting on 2:48. I'm gonna let you watch the view, and then I'll talk more about Strasburg.